All the equipment that I have here on the table laid out in front of me are the tools that I use whenever I go out there to film my adventures on the water. So that's what we're talking about today. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Thank you for clicking on today's video. Let's go over some of the items that I have, and I think we're gonna start back from the beginning. So back in 2013, I used to film a lot of my outdoor adventures for fishing forums and such. And then we fast forward all the way to 2016. I had watched other fishing YouTubers before it was even considered becoming a YouTuber, and learning that you could make money by filming and then showing everybody, and commercials being placed on your videos. And so I think I made a big push to actually try to do that as a job during retirement. So in 2016, I upgraded from a Hero 3, which is what I started with. Very low quality as far as like the resolution was concerned. So I upgraded to a Hero 4 and a Video Mic Pro, which is what I'm filming with right now on the big camera. I've got that mic for the audio, and this right here is the windscreen for that Video Mic Pro. That right there was my attempt to get better quality audio. Instead of having y'all listen to wind noise, you could actually hear what it is that I'm saying, and then do away with a lot of just the static and the bumping of the camera or the mic on the GoPro, which, let's face it, their earlier cameras had horrible audio. So, I mean, you get great video, but the audio was just lacking. So that was my first attempt at raising the bar for myself. And, you know, if I was going to be taken serious and be able to attract an audience because of the video quality and audio at the same time, that's what I did. And so there was a trip that I took to Panama in 2017, actually 2018, the start of 2018, January timeframe. I went there and I lost my Hero 4, so it's not out here on the table. The Hero 3 is actually inside the office. That's what I had to revert back to, because my 4 basically fell off of the kayak along with the mic. And that was such a severe blow during a high caliber trip is what I'm going to call it, because those are once in a lifetime opportunities to go out there and film in just a beautiful place. And that was a severe blow to the channel. But thank goodness the wife forced me to take the Hero 3 as a backup, because I needed it. And I filmed the remainder of my trip with very low quality video and horrible audio, but I made it work. And when we got back to the States, I purchased 2 Hero 6s. So I jumped from the 4 to the 6. These were an upgrade in quality. The frame rate was also increased. So like if you wanted to do slow motion shots, you could get that with the 6s. We fast forward to present day time. I've upgraded the 6s to the Hero 9s because of the clarity that you can get, which here goes the 9s right here. One on a stationary camera that I put on the kayak for a forward facing shot, and then the other one is on my hat right there. So those are what I'm currently using now. The image stabilization, really flawless. It's like having a gimbal on your camera and being able to stabilize almost everything. And so whenever my head is turning around with the hat cam, what it does is it helps to slow and smooth it out, so that you're not just seeing all of that like craziness. So if I tried to go back to the Hero 6, you would probably get dizzy and notice it immediately. But the 9 does an exceptional job in being able to stabilize that footage. The other camera that we're using is the one that I'm filming with, the Sony A73. Phenomenal processor inside that camera, and then also the lenses. I bought the state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line, they're Sony G Master lenses. This one's a telephoto to be able to reach out and get the wildlife shots. It's got an optical zoom from 100 to 400 millimeters, and this thing just does an exceptional job. It has a little bit of stabilization built in. I don't know if that's by way of the processor or just the lens itself, but you can put it on autofocus and this thing will acquire your subject and then track it so long as you can keep your hand steady, which is very hard to do whenever you're zoomed all the way out to, or zoomed all the way in to try to capture your subject. But this allows me to get the redfish, the wildlife and everything, and the quality of the image is just so magnificent, and that's what you get from a G Master lens. I figured, like, if I was going to do this, I may as well do it the right way and don't skimp out, because it helps me to tell the story of what it is that I am seeing out there, and it just captures phenomenal B-roll. The quality as far as still pictures, phenomenal as well. So that's what you get with the G Master lenses. The other one that I'm using for like the vlog, it's a 16 to 35 millimeter G Master from Sony as well, and the glass quality is just perfect. Also with like low light, you don't even need an external light source like this right here from LumeCube. I've got 2 of them that I've purchased as peripherals to help film in low light settings with the GoPros, because let's face it, they have horrible quality at nighttime, too much white noise, fuzziness. You'll know what I'm talking about if you try to get out and film a low light setting. The Sony itself, the glass and the like the image processor or whatever it's called inside the big camera, it does such an exceptional job that you don't even need a dedicated light source. And I mean, even the moonlight will help to light up everything. So that's the quality that you get with the bigger cameras. Is it needed? Probably not. You can just get away with a regular iPhone, which is something that I also use to film with as well. So the 3 cameras, it's the Sony, the GoPro, and then my iPhone 12 Pro Max or whatever it's called. I also use the drone. This is a DJI Mavic Air. So this is going to help you to kind of tell your story, show the beauty of the outdoors from an aerial point of view. It just kind of puts everything into perspective. It's going to show everyone in vivid detail and like what it is that you're seeing, and so it just helps you to tell your story. So we got that drone right there. Other peripherals are little like just point and shoot style cameras. This is for the Hero 9. We've got a dedicated audio source right here by way of a Rode microphone, which, by the way, those are the only microphones that I use. I'm pretty brand loyal, and they've not given me a reason to go away from them. So we got a Video Mic Pro on the big camera, and this is the Video Micro. My lav mics are, I forgot what they're called, like the Lav Mic Plus or something like that. But there's so many peripherals that you purchase to be able to get certain jobs done. This one is just very low profile. I have a grip, and then the 9 goes right there. And we have a light source right here with a filter to kind of smooth out the lighting. And what that does is just, it lets you not see shadows, because some of these lights are very bright and it lights up the subject too much and it'll cast a shadow behind it. So the filters help to soften it and round it out so that it looks natural to a certain extent. Some of the other items that I use for filming out there are polarized lenses or filters. Think of sunglasses for your cameras. That's what these allow. And they can get rather expensive. I say don't skimp out, get glass ones. Don't get the plastic because they scratch easy. The glass is where you want to go, and they'll last you forever. So if there's something in the water or a certain time of the year, I want y'all to see the fish hatching in the marsh or in the bayou, you're gonna need that polarized lens to be able to see through the glare on the water, and that's what you're gonna get with that. Now, one of the big things is batteries. Right here, tons of batteries for these small little cameras, and the reason why I'm using that versus using a power bank with wires that go to the cameras, they're very restricting. You have a wire dangling all over the place. It's very hard. You may turn your head really quick because you're out there doing physical work by way of fishing, And you don't know if you've just disconnected your camera from the power. Corrosion was another problem that I had whenever I tried doing the whole power bank to my camera. So I've done it before. I've got the wires in there. We did it with the Hero 6 and the Hero 4. Everything just corrodes, even with fresh water. When I first started the channel, I was corroding those wires and it just didn't work, and it wasn't very reliable is what I found. So I just did it the old-fashioned way. One battery into the camera, use it, the camera turns off. It lets you know that it turned off by way of beeping. You pull out that battery, throw another one in, and continue filming. Why do I do that? Because I could not stand some of the content creators at the time when I first started only showing when they were reeling in a fish. So I wanted to capture the full bit of action from the cast, the retrieve, the hook set, the landing of the fish, the presenting the fish to y'all, I wanted all of that. And in order to do that, you have to film continuously. So that's basically the approach that I took to filming on the water, to show y'all the final product of what you see on the fishing channel. And I could not do that with just maybe 1 or 2 batteries. It took an absurd amount because you never know when one battery is going to crap out on you. And so the other content creators, what they would normally do is, because they didn't take enough juice out there on the water to power their cameras, they basically had the camera there and it's always on standby. And in the minute that they catch a fish, because they don't know when it's going to happen, but the minute they hook a fish, they reach up and then they'll turn their camera on. Or if they're visually seeing fish, then they'll probably be able to turn the camera on because they know they're about to catch one. But more often than not, because they're trying to conserve battery power, you'll only catch whenever they're reeling in that fish, because of what I was just saying a minute ago. So it takes an absurd amount of battery power for both the big camera and the GoPros themselves. The drone, I've only got 2 batteries because those are just outrageously expensive to purchase now because they don't make them anymore. So other things that I had to take into consideration when filming going on a trip, ICAST 2019, first time going to ICAST, I tried to think of everything that I was going to run into, and that right there required me to do this. Lots of SD cards. And I have 6 baggies right here with little index cards that I write down the date that I'm filming. And it just allows me to be able to organize and keep everything from being deleted, like making a mistake. So when I went to ICAST, there was one for each day that I was going to be there. And I did not want to make the mistake of thinking that I uploaded the footage onto an external or the MacBook Pro. And that helped to organize everything by way of date. So it's like, when did I film that? And then it was like, oh, okay, that was on Monday. And then boom, there it was inside that little baggie, nice and ready to go whenever it was that I needed it. So I could just throw, for the next day, I just throw a whole new set of SD cards into everything. What do I edit on? That right there is the MacBook Pro. It's a 16-inch screen, very high dollar piece of equipment. Lets you have like professional quality editing software and a lot of muscle in the hardware to do some pretty powerful editing, and it lets me do it on a big screen that's very vivid in detail, almost true to life what the camera lenses are capturing. And that's where all the work gets done. The software that I'm using is Final Cut Pro X or Final Cut Pro 10. That's what I edit on, and which, by the way, a lot of this stuff I'm going to try to list in the video description so that you can see what it is if you're curious about the items that I'm using, and it'll let you read up on them. But yeah, this is the gear that I'm going out there with. So as you can see just right here, plus a lot more inside the office, there's a lot of stuff that I take out there with me just to be able to present y'all with the final product that y'all watch every other day, every 3 days, something like that, when I drop new videos. And yeah, that's what it takes to basically film what I capture. And I hope y'all enjoyed this one, especially those of you who are aspiring to become a content creator. Hopefully you found this helpful. For everybody else, hopefully you found it entertaining, and that's going to do it. Until next time, tight lines, y'all.